Is the flat hand only used for damping and only for consecutive octaves, or is it okay for bigger stretches like tenths? Or does it just depend on the context? Or am I overthinking? I think we all overthink everything, don't we? That distance there is just me getting a sixth. That's nice and comfortable. The larger the distance I grab, the more my hand has to turn in order to stretch. Sometimes we use a flat hand on the left hand, like this. It's called an étouffe hand. We often use it when damping. And sometimes we use a hand in like your normal harp hand position. And she's saying, is there a general rule for when you use both of these? Is the flat hand only used for damping and only for consecutive octaves? Or is it okay for bigger stretches like tenths? Or does it just depend on the context? Or am I overthinking? I think we all overthink everything, don't we? So, this is a really good question. Here's our flat hand technique. And often when you're using a flat hand, you can reach further. So there's me reaching a tenth. It happens to be an F minor 10. And that's really comfortable for me in the flat hand position with my 4 and my 1. If I'm in your standard harp position, that is really quite a large stretch for me. I've got quite small hands, but I can manage it. You can use the flat hand position anytime you want. It's really handy for damping, and it's really handy for consecutive octaves like she suggests, or this kind of thing. It's lovely for damping, but you don't have to only use it in that situation. You can use it like in general for moving around your harp. The flat hand position was developed for damping. It was used for creating that damping sound. You can use it whenever you want. If you are playing your harp like this, you'll notice that if I've got a smaller interval, I'm able to have my hand in a really, like this is kind of hand in like optimal position. You can see that my thumb's nice and high. It's not forced high. Okay, we were talking about this a little bit just recently. We don't want to force our thumb up, but it's nice and high. It's above the knuckles and my 4 is lower. That distance there is just me getting a sixth. That's nice and comfortable. The larger the distance I grab, the more my hand has to turn in order to stretch. I can't keep my hand in this position with my thumb high and my 4th low and stretch. I can't do it. I have to adjust my hand for the bigger stretch. The finger 4 or finger 3, depending on what you're playing, has to come higher on the string. What you want to watch out for with these larger intervals is that your finger and your knuckles do not come above the line of your thumb. So here's the line of my coming out. If I imagine a line here coming out my thumb, this hand position's okay. This hand position's okay for a big stretch. This hand position is not. Okay, so you can see here, you can no longer see my thumb. The line of my thumb is down here. My fingers and my knuckles have moved above the line of my thumb. Okay, so as a general rule, keep your thumb above your knuckles and your fingers, or if you prefer, keep your knuckles and your fingers below the line of your thumb. So up here, we don't want this. And the reason is the higher you move your fingers on the string, the more your hand becomes parallel with the strings, and therefore the more you are likely to pull into the top of your hand, creating tension, and not into the base of your hand, which is a relaxed hand shape. So we don't want to pull into the top of our hand. It makes a thin metallic sound and creates tension. We want to pull into the base of our hand. So if you're struggling with a stretch, play around with the position of those fingers, but just watch out for that line of thumb, so you're not rising above that. There's no rules about playing with a flat hand or with the harp hand, except for if there's damping, which requires you to use a flat hand. If you feel more comfortable with your flat hand, then use it, unless indicated otherwise by the arranger or composer.